Hello, my name is Julia Kline, and thank you so much for joining me this afternoon for this Sales Wounds Deep Dive. And today I am taking a deep dive with Marilynn DeLucca, who has agreed so courageously and with such a spirit of adventurousness to go down this road and allow me to explore with her what her blockages are around sales in this very public way. So welcome, Marilynn.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Would you like to tell everybody? Well, I'm going to ask in a moment for you to tell everybody who you are, what you're all about. But just so that everybody's clear, the intention here is to that I am basically in 10 minutes or less going to get to the core of what Marilynn's primary sales wound is, and the purpose of that is to illuminate for her as well as for all of you watching. What a deeper understanding of this notion of sales wounds and how it impacts and plays a role in your ability to sell or not. So with that, Marilynn, tell us just a little bit about who you are, what you do for a living, your website, anything you'd like to share.
To turn off the phone. I am Marilynn DeLucca, and I have been on a spiritual journey for probably a good 15 years actively, but journeying most of my life. And right now I am a Theta healer. I am certified. I am an energy worker, and I help others who are basically on the same path, who are needing a little extra energy, who perhaps need some spiritual cleaning, some subconscious cleaning to get a little more clarity around what they're trying to do.
Okay, that sounds great. Now, full transparency, Marilynn is an existing customer of mine. So I know Marilynn. Actually, Marilynn and I have known each other for a number of years.
Yes.
And she actually offered me a numerology reading, gosh, 5 or 6 years ago that came at just the exact right moment. And some of what she shared was really helpful for me in understanding a piece that I needed to understand right at that moment in time.
Right.
Because I actually make mention of her in the acknowledgments of my first book.
Right. And I thank you for that.
Yeah, you're welcome. So Marilynn and I are not strangers, just to make that clear. And this is not the first time that we had this conversation about sales wounds. So I already do know that Marilynn, and I suspect that your biggest wound is wound number 4, the anti-selling wound. But that's not necessarily your belief. You actually feel that your sales wound is your primary 1 or 2 wounds are different, right? What are you currently thinking is your primary wound?
I think my primary wound is number 6, the success wound, and the second one, the love and money wound. I felt very, very connected when I learned about those two. But in listening to your recording just recently, I have come to the conclusion that you could be right about the number 4 feminine wound. So yeah. Let's see where that goes.
Yeah, I'm coming to the belief that almost everybody who is struggling with not selling enough in their business is suffering from the anti-selling wound, number 4.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that I have also gotten to the bottom of why it feels to you like the success wound. But what I want you to do is to share what is it about the success wound that you feel speaks to you.
Everything that you mentioned about the success wound, not feeling good enough, avoiding because I felt guilty, even a little bit of victimization, sabotage is huge for me. Every time I plan something, I become aware that there are subconscious wishing that nobody shows up. And of course they don't, because what we wish for, we get.
Yeah, yeah. And so, you know, I am in inquiry myself around these wounds and the true deep nature of it, and I think that it's within the nature of any body of thought that it changes over time, right? And I'm just aware that my thoughts and ideas around these topics are in fact changing. But what I'll share with you is that the first thing you said, that not feeling good enough, that feeling of not feeling good enough, specifically within the context of one's business, is actually a manifestation of the anti-selling wound, or rather, the not feeling good enough in the context of one's business is an emotional or psychological piece of baggage which manifests in the anti-selling wound rather than the success wound. And the distinction there is this, that the anti-selling wound is fundamentally the core, the statement of that core wound is, I am so unwilling to be a pushy salesperson that I just flat out refuse to sell. That's, you know, that's what we're going to do about that, because I am sure as heck not going to do this pushy, obnoxious, you know, sleazy sales stuff. And so, you know, I'm just not going to sell at all. And what, you know, whatever that means for my business and the lack of success, whatever, it doesn't matter, because I'm just not going to be a pushy salesperson. That is the core of the anti-selling wound. However, the anti-selling wound shows up in a couple of other ways as well, or I should say, what is fundamentally behind the anti-selling wound is this belief that to sell, it is in fact the polar opposite of wound number 3, which is the selling wound. And the selling wound is sales is a game, and it's all about getting people to buy your stuff even if they don't need and want it. And being good at sales means being good at persuasion and manipulation, and in all different kinds of ways. And so the opposite of that, the anti-selling wound, is it still has within it this core belief that people don't need or want what I have. That is the fundamental belief inside of the anti-selling wound. Because the reason it feels pushy, the reason it feels obnoxious, the reason it feels sleazy, the reason it feels like you're, you know, shoving yourself on somebody, or the reason it feels like you are more concerned about your needs than you are about their needs, is because you fundamentally lack belief that they need or want what it is that you're selling. If you believed that they need and they want what it is that you're selling, well, now you wouldn't be trying to force something on them. You would be pleading with them, trying to awaken them to the understanding of what they need, right? Sometimes when I speak about this to groups live, what I talk about is, imagine that what you do for a living is that you are part of a mountain rescue team, right? And you show up at the side of an avalanche or whatever, and there's 100 people that have slipped down a cliff and they're hanging onto a tree root for dear life. And if they let go, they're going to plummet to their death. And what you do is you come along with a harness and a rope, and you can put it on them and haul them up to safety. And there's only 100 people. There's 100 people there, and given all of the parts of the equation, you know for sure that you only have time to save 20 of them. And so what you do is you yell down, you say, hey, you down there, you've got a really big problem. I can solve it. And they're like, and all you need to do is like, here, I'm going to drop down this rope. You just need to let go with one hand and grab onto the rope, and then I can save you. But some of them are going to say, oh God, no, I'm too scared. I know that I'm going to plummet to my death, and I know that that rope can save me, but I can't. Well, what you get to do then is you get to say, okay, I'm so sorry, and you move on. You take your rope to the next person. And someone who is suffering from the anti-selling wound fails to recognize that what they are offering is a lifeline to someone who's about to fall down the cliff. And so often, the reason that that belief is lacking is from that core feeling of not feeling good enough. It's because I don't feel good enough about myself. I have self-doubt, or I'm just so, overwhelmed by self-consciousness that I can't see how what I have to offer is in fact a lifeline for you. So let me pause there. How is this all hitting you, Marilynn?
Well, actually, when I talk to people about the things that I do and how I can help them, I really do believe that I can help them, and that if they would just go ahead and work with me, that I can really help them. So I'm not quite sure that I'm connecting with what you're saying.
Do you feel as though you can help that specific person who you're talking to? Or do you just categorically feel that the energy work that you offer is helpful?
Absolutely feel like when I'm talking to a particular person, as I'm talking with them and delving into what they're interested in working on, and I find out what they want to heal, I know in my heart that I can help them.
So why do you think they don't say yes to working with you?
That is the biggest question I have had in 10 years.
So, and what do you do in response when you feel sure that you can help them, but then they aren't willing to say, sure, yes, let me hire you, I want to work with you?
Usually in the process, I go through, the different ways that I can help them, what the benefits might be for them, and how they could come out on the other side of our session or multiple sessions with a much better feeling, with a much better grounding, feeling happier, more joyful, or even healed from what they came to me about initially.
Wait a minute, you said you feel or they feel all of those things that you just described?
I feel that that's the benefits that they will get when they work with me.
Right, okay, but what you're saying is, though, that the majority of people don't decide to work with you. They don't hire you, right?
Right.
Okay, and so what do you do next when they say, oh, that sounds great, but I don't want to give you any money. I'm not going to hire you. What is your response? What is your reaction?
Usually they want to try it for free.
Okay, and then what is your response?
I usually help them try it for free.
Right, okay. So this is explicitly the anti-selling wound. Because, and this gets deep. So a couple of things. One, you want to help people so badly that you are unwilling to not help them when they say they won't pay you. You're willing to give yourself for free, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
I haven't looked at it that way before, but that's true.
Yes. So that's one piece.
Yeah.
The second piece is that and I know that on some intellectual level, you know this is true, but again, I'm hoping that this is going to be a new way of looking at it, right?
Right.
In order for them to receive the benefits of the healing energy that you can offer them, it is required that they participate. And what it means in our modern Western world for someone to participate in their own healing is they have to pay for it. So in essence, when you say, so here's you, the healer that has the healing power, and here's the client, the customer, who has the problem. And the healing lies between the two of you.
Exactly.
And what you say is, I can help you. And what you need to do in order to receive the help is you need to pay me. That's how you need to participate. And then the person says, oh, yeah, I'm not willing to participate in my own healing. And you say, oh, all right, I'll just do it all.
Yeah.
I will come 100% of the way to you. I will do 100% of the work. I will, this is going to be a deep statement, I will take away your, you're interfering with their spiritual path when you do that. You're taking away their opportunity to help themselves heal. You are not emasculating them exactly. You are disempowering them.
Yeah, taking responsibility for them.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So I know that on some intellectual level you understand these concepts. You could probably teach them to somebody else, right? But when it comes to your own business, it's still what you do.
Right. Right.
And so this is a manifestation of the anti-selling wound that is particularly problematic with healers, because you are a healer. You are here on this earth to heal people. And it feels like such a compelling requirement for your soul that for somebody to say, I don't want to give you money, like you can't allow for the healing to not happen just because they're not willing to pay you.
Yeah.
And what's required for you, Marilynn, is to make the profound shift that healing them that way is not healing them. And it certainly is wounding yourself. It's devaluing yourself. It's re-emphasizing the pattern, because every time you do it, it basically sets up the energetic expectation with the next client that if they say, I don't want to pay you, you'll say, oh, well, okay, I'll come and heal you for free.
Right.
Even if you don't say so, and even if they don't consciously know it, energetically they know it. They get it, that you are going to heal them whether you pay them or whether they pay you or not.
Well, that's the message I'm sending out to the universe, so that those are the people that I'm attracting, the ones that want everything for free or for very, very little money, because I have also discounted, and I've experienced all the things that you mentioned about working, helping people heal. And in one person in particular, when she was starting to get some results, all of a sudden she kind of stopped coming. It was very strange.
Was she paying you?
Yes, but a very minimal amount.
Yeah. So, so in short, I think we've identified your wounds. Your wound is, number 4, the anti-selling wound. And for you, it's not that you don't recognize your value per se, but it is that you don't stand for yourself such that your value requires cash in order to be exchanged.
And it just popped into my head also that I don't stand really for my clients and insist that they participate. That's what I have been doing wrong all this time. I've been taking responsibility for them, and that's pretty much what I've done all my life with everybody in my family, with everybody that I've known. If somebody needs something, I'll go in 100% and do everything myself.
Yes, yes, it is such a common phenomenon, you know, for people in the healing arts.
Yes.
You know, the big shoulders. I can do it. I can handle it. I can take it. You know, I'll take responsibility. I'll fix you. I will fix you. Right?
Yes. Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Wow.
So there we go.
And this is the one that I didn't think I had.
There we go.
But then maybe it's ego trying to, my subconscious trying to protect me or stop me from making any kind of changes in my life, which I firmly believe it does. So
that's what I was just going to say, is the reason is because, as you said, it's one thing for me to say so glibly, okay, so this is your problem, now go fix it.
right.
Of course, it's not as easy as that. As you said, this is a pattern that is pervasive throughout all the relationships, throughout all of your life.
Exactly.
So for you to no longer participate in this pattern with clients is much more easier said than done. I get that.
Yeah, definitely. And my next question would be, so how do I fix this?
Yeah. Well, I always like to say that awareness is the first step, right? And I think that's a very loose paraphrase of the 12-step program, right? Recognizing you have a problem is the first step to solving the problem. Or a way that I like to say it is, you know, what we're talking about is wounds. What we're talking about is the deep, dark, hidden places inside of us where there's pain. And if you take some time in the next, you know, today or the next couple of days to reflect on this and ask yourself, where does this come from? Where did this happen first? Who would I be if I wasn't this way? What might I lose if I wasn't this way? And I think that frankly, I think, again, I run the risk of sounding glib here, but I think that what it boils down to for you is what you could lose is the relationships. And if you're not the one doing everything for everybody, will they still want you around?
Well, I've been doing that since I was very young, partly because that's what my parents expected as being the oldest and making sure that I took care of everybody below me. So, you know, that responsibility was put on me very young. I was probably under 5 when I was doing that already.
Yeah, so you can say it was something that you learned from your parents, but it also, again, if I wasn't this way, what would I lose? And what you articulated, you would lose something really big. You would lose the love and acceptance and approval of your parents.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's where a lot of things for most everyone that I've ever worked with start. Sure. And then it just continues with all the other relationships.
Yeah. And to say nothing of the fact that I would imagine that, you know, your little siblings, they had needs, and I'm going to assume parents had limited capacity to take care of the little kids, for whatever the reason was, you know. And so there is an extent to which you legitimately felt that your siblings, your younger siblings, would be at peril if you didn't take care of them.
Right.
And so that's now continuing to live. Like, and that's, I'm sure that is existing within your clients too, that they are in peril. That I would imagine people probably come to you who have significant problems. And you're thinking to yourself, oh my God, they're going to be destroyed. They're going to die. They're going to suffer. They're going to have some horrible outcome if I don't have them.
Yeah.
And, you know, so it's coming to terms with that and then moving into an acceptance that, you know what, That's their path, and I cannot be responsible for it.
Yeah, that's probably my biggest thing, is being responsible for everybody around me, taking on their responsibility that really should be theirs.
Yeah. Yeah. So with that, we're gonna draw this video chat to a close, in part because my computer's about to die. So I'm about to run out of juice. So I trust that this has been very insightful for you, Marilynn.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Wonderful.
And I have gotten a couple little hints of ideas about checking with my guides and asking for their help. And every time I start to take responsibility for other people, for them to step in and stop me and redirect and inspire me as to how to proceed.
Yeah. Yeah. I love it.
Yeah.
I can't wait to hear how this unfolds for you in the coming weeks.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciated it. When I did the homework just yesterday, I was absolutely sure that you were wrong about this particular wound, and you proved me wrong again. I should just learn to listen to you and be done with it.
Well, we are all brought teachers when we need them, right?
Yeah,
when the student is ready to hear, the teacher appears.
Yeah, I firmly believe there are no coincidences. When somebody or something comes into my life, then I know they're there for a reason. So
there you go.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. And thank you very much for participating in this installment of the Sales Wounds Deep Dive with me.
It's been a pleasure.
All right, there we go. Thanks very much, everybody. Join me for the next video.
Bye-bye.